It's all about the money. But there are obviously games out there that didn't make enough money, whether it's because it was expected to do really well in the sales, or because they got bad press. This is the list of top 10 games that were intended to be big sellers and make tons of money, but just didn't. So in no particular order, except for number 1, which is a particular mention, here we go! Postal 3! With a mixture of being almost impossible to get hold of when it first came out, cheers Steam, along with it being a complete letdown compared to the previous installments, meant that Postal 3 didn't do too well for itself. The Postal franchise seems to have started to follow the movie rather than the original gameplay style. The games were good, the movie was not, so when we get a Postal game with connections to the Postal movie, we get a bad Postal game. The fact is that the Postal games are still quite underground, though with gamers still enjoying the second game, so why the hell would anyone buy the new one? Well, I did, and I'm clearly a retard.
Working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living.
Psychonauts! It's a real shame about this one, because this game is actually one of those games that should, by all accounts and means, have done really well. This game was full of charm and wit, memorable and funny characters, a very clever storyline, mostly enjoyable gameplay. Yeah, there's actually not much to dislike about this game, and any flaws or shortcomings that it does have are quickly forgotten when one of its countless quirky characters show up and manages to slip in yet another quick-witted psychic reference into the conversation. The problem, however, was that not enough copies were sold on release, meaning that money made on the game initially was just enough to pay off what Tim Schafer and the company owed to everyone involved in the game's development, on top of distribution, marketing, advertising, dog food, slavery, Willem Dafoe, lap dancers, Willem Dafoe's hair. Sorry, I kind of lost where I was going with that.
And hold on tight, cause it's gonna be wilder than any exciting ride.
Beyond Good and Evil. This is another example of a decent game that should have done better. In fact, this one went pretty much under the money radar. That is basically much in the same way as a stripper, in that it's what someone will throw money at if it's good enough. Beyond Good and Evil is a prequel to Beyond Two Souls, and... no, that's not right. Well, Beyond G&E is its own thing, and the reason it didn't make money is because fill in the reason here. Huh. You know what? There isn't any proper rhyme or reason as to why this game didn't do so well. It's become a cult classic since those days, and I found it somewhat enjoyable, though the actual game setting and plot took some climatising. But many believe that most gamers, around the time the game was released, wanted something that they'd know they'd enjoy, rather than take an educated gamble and go for the mystery box. Though some ancient astronaut theorists believe that the game's poor sales have a darker motive. Sorry, I've been watching too much Ancient Aliens.
Lane Goodman.
7!
Clive Barker's Undying. This game is a classic example of a good game with a terrible PR performance. Despite Undying being quite the enjoyable game, to the extent that you'd actually surprise yourself as to how much you'll like this, though now saying it, I bet you'll hate it just in spite of what I just said, this game did massively fail in one area, and that was advertising. No one really knew about this game whilst it was in development, and it wasn't announced enough. And when people originally heard about it, we were all like, Clive Barker's doing a game. Bore off? It's one of those games that isn't really well known of and is most likely found in a bargain bin for $2 alongside a copy of Time Cop and a greasy hobo, but it'll most certainly catch you off guard, freaking you out in some areas and wowing you in others. But in the end, this game didn't make Clive Barker much money, so his game writing days were over. Oh. Conker's Bad Fur Day! Right, this is another game that's actually half reasonable. Actually, that's a lazy analogy. Strap yourself in, kids, because this is going to be a bumpy ride, and why on earth are you kids even watching this? Haven't you got homework to do? This game is like taking Banjo-Kazooie, laying it off of work, taking away its benefit money, fucking it up the arse, and then bunging it in the corner of the room with a pint of beer and a smoke. And then fucking it up the arse again. But before anyone asks why I'm talking about Nigel Farage, this game is actually very enjoyable. The gameplay part, not the dick up the arse. You play as Conker the Squirrel, who is basically what I think Jack D would be like if you gave him 8 Jaeger bombs and then smacked him around the head a few times, as in a surprisingly quick-witted and short-tempered drunk, who wakes up one day after a hangover to find that he has no idea where he is, and the rest of the game is basically his adventurous hangover. The game itself, however, sold terribly, mainly because of its adult nature. This game was created by Rare, the same people that made Battletoads, Donkey Kong, GoldenEye for the N64, Perfect Dark, and so it was difficult to market this game due to their fanbase being kids. As a result, it was difficult to find anyone who was willing to publish the game, and by the time it was released, the N64 soon after went the way that your pet dog did. So both your dog and your N64 are on the same farm. Enter the Matrix. Enter the Matrix is a bad game, but you don't need me to tell you that. There are games out there that are just bad, and you can tell which ones those are just from hearing that they exist, such as Atari Ninja Golf and Spanky's Quest, and this is one of those games. But for those unfortunate few who did actually go out and buy this piece of crap, they found out that, well, it was a piece of crap. And then they told their friends that it was a piece of crap. And that's how a game doesn't get good sales. Especially if you state clearly that the game has nothing to do with the movie plot and that you get to play as a very minor character from the series. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Another example of a great game that just didn't make enough sales. Actually, I wouldn't use the word great to describe this game. It's a bit like saying that Windows 7 is great in comparison to Vista. Well, yeah, if you look at it like that it is, but on its own, it's still very usable despite having several flaws. But don't let these completely obvious in-your-face flaws hold you back from enjoying this game, because it is worth the investment. However, this game sold terribly when it was released, and there are 2 words to describe why this was. Half-Life 2. Well, actually that was 3 words. Yep, this game actually came out on the same day as the smash hit that was Half-Life 2. So like Kevin Bacon would say, this one's a no-brainer. On an interesting note, both Bloodlines and Half-Life 2 use the Source engine, and in fact Bloodlines is the first non-Valve game to use it. Though I'm sure you care about that as much as you care about donating £10 to the Me Not Kicking Your Ass Foundation.
1, 2, 3, follow me, let me got 180 degrees.
Two words. Ad campaign. 8 more words. John Romero's about to make you his bitch. Lol, moving on. E.T. for the Atari. Are you f***ing kidding me? Do I really need to explain this one? Well, seeing as I didn't really explain the last entry that much. E.T. for the Atari was so bad that it was the prime mover in causing the video game crash of 1984. Admittedly, it wasn't the sole reason for it, but it had something to do with it, let's put it like that. The game was so shockingly bad that most people who bought it returned it straight away. And I'm not sure if that thing about all of the cartridges being cemented over in a landfill in the desert is true, but that's pretty f***ing impressive if it is. This game was so bad that it actually damaged the global economy. Not by much, but hey, that's still an achievement. Or an epic fail, whatever way you're looking at it really.
One more time, got me feeling so free.
Thief 2 The Metal Age! And finally, the game that wins the award for not making enough money goes to Thief 2 by Looking Glass Studios. Now, some of you may be wondering what has happened to this company, as we haven't heard from them in like, what, a decade and a half? Well, you can thank Thief 2 for that because the company went bust shortly after the game came out. And ironically too, because this game is actually very good. If you're aware of Thief the Dark Project, then this game is basically the same, just with more stuff to play with. And robots. But the problem with most of Looking Glass's products is that whilst they are most likely the best thing to have ever graced this planet besides Dolly Parton's tits, they are notorious for getting poor sales. But it was Thief 2 The Metal Age that pushed this company over the Bear Grylls style scraping by threshold and into the more broken than Nick Griffin trying to play the theme tune to Star Wars on the spoons with just one spoon camp. Now most of Looking Glass's developers have passed on to the development afterlife that is either Irrational Games or Eidos, with Ken Levine founding a worldwide religion based on himself, something of which the almighty Gaben does not take kindly to. And that's another one dead, but if you're a part of the magnificent undying PC gaming master race, and a devout follower of the almighty Gaben, then like and subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for more shit on the way.